All right, everybody, it's been a couple of hours, or well, almost a day since PlayStation State of Play, and yeah, let's talk about that one because that one was very interesting. Now, I don't think that the entire showcase was complete garbage, but I don't think this was their strongest State of Play yet. But I do want to lift up some of the more golden nuggets, so to speak, like games that I'm actually sort of looking forward to that were showcased here. Now, this is not going to be a play-by-play where I list every single game that was on this showcase. You guys probably already know which games were there, so I'm just going to talk about the ones that I find the most interesting. Also, I will be co-streaming the Summer Games Fest on Friday, so remember to tune in for that because I will be live streaming that. But let's start talking about Pragmata, which is probably the one that I'm looking forward to the most for now. Thing is, I'm a big sucker for games that have you bonding with a character, like preferably like son and father, like God of War, like daughter to father, daughter to mother, like these types of games where you have like a father or mother figure bonding with a kid or a younger person. Like, I just love those types of games. And generally speaking, a lot of them that have been made throughout the years, not that there's been that many games of that type, but generally speaking, there's just something really heartfelt in those types of games, and I'm just a big sucker for stuff like that. So I'm very much looking forward to trying that out. Apparently, it's about this bond between this, I would say, can you call him like an astronaut? I guess that's the main playable character. And then we have this other character who is an AI. I think her name is Diana, it seems like they say in the trailer. She's very cute. He seems like a chill dude. And you're supposed to make your way back from a lunar base back to Earth somehow. And we don't really have that much information about what is really going on in Pragmata. It just looks really interesting to me. And I don't know, I just like it. I like the concept of stories like these. Then we have, and I know some of you are going to be like, oh, come on, man, really? But Silent Hill F. Now, this is the first, I think this is the first Silent Hill game that takes place, well, outside Silent Hill. So, I mean, it is a little funny that it's called Silent Hill, but it's not actually in Silent Hill. It's actually set in Japan, and now we have Japanese characters, and I think the main language is actually going to be Japanese as well. So it's not, well, I think, of course, you're probably going to be able to play using English voiceover as you usually do, but I think the focus is going to be on the Japanese aspect of it. And I don't know, again, like I'm a huge sucker for Japanese horror. I mean, if you guys have checked out Junji Ito, that guy is a mastermind of making you like really uncomfortable and like horrified just from reading like his mangas. I absolutely love it. This reminded me so much of Junji Ito, and I just want to see more of it, like what types of crazy body horror they can like introduce into Silent Hill here. Silent Hill has always been like a horrific, terrifying, and lovely franchise, but like this is going to be really interesting. I just, the only thing that I would say here is that, as some of you have brought up that I've seen people talk about, is that the game looks a little janky in terms of gameplay and in some animations. So hopefully, they can get that, fixed. They can polish that until release. But otherwise, like conceptually speaking, I would say that Silent Hill F looks really interesting as well to me. Now, Nioh 3 also looked pretty interesting. The thing is, I have not played the previous Nioh games, but generally speaking, I mean, you're playing like a ninja samurai type guy. Apparently, these games have a huge fan base and people love these games, and so I am looking forward to diving into both the first and the second game at some point, hopefully soon enough. But yeah, that one looked really cool. I just love myself these types of, almost like Ninja Gaiden type games, because it does seem to have sort of like a similar speed, something like Ninja Gaiden. Nioh 3 was definitely also a high point. Final Fantasy Tactics, Ivalice Chronicles, which interesting enough, like I haven't played the old original either, but I have played the Final Fantasy 14 version, like the raid version of it, and I'm very like I would really like to play the old ones just to experience like what is the story in these games, how is the gameplay, how is everything aging, how is everything holding up until today. So yeah, that one I really want to try out as well, especially so because it's essentially remastered, so that one I will definitely play. It's one of the few older type games that I'm looking forward to get into. Normally I wouldn't say that, but this one actually looks relatively interesting. Like the soundtrack in the background, it definitely took me back to when I was raiding in Final Fantasy XIV. So yeah, that one for sure. Then we have, and this one I'm surprised that I'm actually saying, Romeo is a Dead Man, which that one seems trippy as hell. Like it starts like an anime or like a manga panel. Has a very, very distinct weird art style. And then it just turns very violent and it turns into a 3D, hack and slash game. And I don't know, it just looks really trippy. The producer, or well, the director or the creator of the series also seems like a really, really cool and funny dude. And for some reason, I just felt like, oh, okay, this is going to be a really interesting experience when you get into it. It just looks really interesting to me. Then we have Sword of the Sea, which is from the creators of Abzu. And just, having played Abzu already, I would say that I already know that this is going to be a cozy, chill experience, and I'm looking forward to it because I love these types of games, like Journey, for example. Like all these, they have a very, very specific vibe that you can just chill out on a Friday night or a Saturday night and just, take it easy and play these games. Like they're a complete vibe, and you don't really find these types of games anywhere else. It's a very specific niche, and I think it's one of those niches that I absolutely live for. Certain days, of course. Then we have Ghost of Yotei, which, well, that was just a blue ball, really, you guys. Like that, I was actually pissed off because I thought we were gonna get, oh yeah, let's see some gameplay, let's get some good stuff here, because I'm really looking forward to Ghost of Yotei, especially because I'm a big fan of Ghost of Tsushima. And so I was like, yeah, oh, this is so cool, and then they just blue ball you. And tease you until the next showcase where they're gonna do a deep dive in July. Man, I really want to swear right now because I got pissed off and I want to demonetize the video, but that was super annoying. Sucker Punch, how dare you? But yeah, I'm still looking forward to that. I'm glad to see that we're actually getting a deep dive at some point. Now, this one was really surprising to me. 007 First Light. Huge fan of all the old movies here. Like, I think I've seen every movie. And this one looks really cool because I've seen some reactions to it, people being like, oh, but he looks too boyish and he doesn't look like a James Bond. Honestly, if you read from like some of the book, like Ian Fleming's books, this does seem like one of the more accurate portrayals to James Bond. For example, you have his scar here on his cheek, which he doesn't have in the movies. He actually has that in the book as well, so that's really cool. And we're not seeing this old veteran version of James Bond. We're seeing the guy like how he becomes James Bond when he's still young, like he's still trying out to become 007. And I really want to see that, the origin story really for James Bond. And I mean, as a big fan of GoldenEye, like you guys remember GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64? I played it at Nintendo 64. I don't really remember if it was on other platforms, but that was what I played it on. And those were some good old days, man. So I'm looking forward to playing as Bond again. Then again, like it's a very different type of game though compared to something like GoldenEye, because this is third person action. This is not like the first person you got in GoldenEye. So this is going to be a very interesting experience. It's a little bit like Nathan Drake-y, I would say, because obviously it's like a third person action adventure sort of spy thriller. I really hope they do James Bond justice. And from the looks of it, I think they will. But, again, time will tell. But I do think that was one of the biggest surprises for me, seeing like an actual new game for James Bond. Overall, though, if we just if we put a score on this PlayStation Showcase, I would give it maybe a 7 out of 10, maybe like a 6.5. It wasn't terrible. There were some good points, like the games that I've already mentioned. I think they lifted up the showcase in general terms, and also I am glad that they are showcasing smaller studios, smaller games, because as we know from the previous months of this year and last year, like AA games and indie games, they're starting to take over, man. Like they are starting to grab the gaming industry by the balls, because AAA studios, they just don't really do it that much anymore. So I'm very happy to see that they're actually showcasing these studios and these indie and smaller games, because they do need to have the visibility to like the general gaming audience. And some of these are really golden nuggets, so to speak. Like they're really cool games. So I'm glad they're getting exposure. But these ones are primarily the ones that I'm looking forward to the most. Obviously, they're a little bit more high budget. Of course, these types types of games, but I'm still like, they looked the most interesting to me out of the bunch. But that's my list, so let me know what you guys think about the showcase in the comments below. I'm very curious to what you guys would score it. Some of you are gonna be pretty brutal, but that's fine, you know, we're all entitled to our own opinions. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. See you guys tomorrow for the Summer Games Fest. This has been Mr. Holton, signing off.